everybody, Randy Reviews It here. So today we're going to be talking about initial impressions on the Sig P320X Compact. So this is part of their 320 series. When I originally saw the 320, I was kind of interested in it because I've owned a 226 before. It was a good gun. I owned it when I was very young, decided to get rid of it when I had to go to college because there wasn't really a good place to store it at the time. I grew up in a family that doesn't have a lot of guns, that sort of thing. They weren't comfortable with a handgun. So definitely regret getting rid of that. It's gone up astronomically in price from what I paid for it. And I had the Walther PDP, as you know. I got rid of that the second time. And so I got this in a trade with that. And I wanted to try this out, one, to see what the hype is around these 320s. And then secondly, just to give you guys some content on these because I didn't want to neglect them. It seems like they're such a good option. I know there's pretty much like 100,000 variants. Sig is really good about just shoving out variants, you know, every week with like something new. It's almost like different Taco Bell flavors or Doritos or whatever at this point. But I've been really impressed with this gun. So it's about as small as I'd ever like to shoot, like in my hand. Like I can get a whole purchase on this with my hand, which is surprising because usually I have to shoot the full-size grips. But I'll say this, the new X grip, get this. Don't get the old grip. The X grip is miles ahead on ergonomics, I think in any way, shape, or form. So you get a really good grip on it. It's got a good beaver tail. You're not getting bit because it's got a crazy high bore axis. And then with that high bore axis, I was really worried that the recoil impulse would suck on this, that it would be worse than the PDP. But actually, I shoot this surprisingly well. It's very comfortable to shoot, even though it's a compact. I've been really impressed with this trade. The only thing that I'm worried about, I haven't taken that off yet, but it's got an optics plate, and I'm not sure which version this is, if it's 2 or 1, or however that works. If there's an RMR cut available under here, or if it's just that loophole. I don't know why Sig went with that, but it's something to watch out for. If that loophole's cut there, you might have to buy a pretty expensive plate conversion or something like that. From what I've been seeing, some of these Bobro and C&H Precision plates can be like $80 to $100 just to be able to mount your optic on here. So that scares me a little bit. Impressions, so gun's empty, everything like that. I've weighted the trigger. It's got a really good trigger pull. There's not too much over travel, not too much take up. It's 6 pounds it comes in on my meter. So it's not the lightest trigger in the world, but it doesn't feel that bad. It feels really good. I would say it feels less twangy, if that's the way to put it, compared to my shadow systems. My shadow systems have a little bit more take up. They have a lighter break, but it's almost like a boing, like you feel the spring on those shadow systems. And so yeah, so the takedown on this is pretty slick. You just pull the slide back and flip that around. We'll do a quick breakdown video here and then come back and wrap things up with some final thoughts. All right, everyone, let's do the breakdown on this. Just to show you, gun is empty. So you put the slide back, you flip this all the way around, it's right there. And then, let's see there it goes, comes right off the slide. So, initial impressions, it's got an interesting little striker channel there, as well as the back plate on it. Looks a little bit different than what I was expecting with like a Glock or something like that. This guide rod is interesting. I took it apart once before this, but just to show you. So what you would think would make sense is that one of these flat sides would rest against the barrel to lock it down, but it's actually the flat, you need this side to go against the barrel to lock it down. And if you look at this barrel, why I was thinking the flat sides is because it's not like rounded to fit into there. So it's kind of like you're putting a round edge on a flat edge, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure exactly if that benefits it, if it's a detriment or something like that. I've just never seen that where you're trying to mate up a flat edge with a round edge on a guide rod like that. So yeah, barrel, typical Browning tilt action. Got the two little prongs so that you have the loaded chamber indicator in the back right there. And then just your basic. One of the things that's a little different with this is obviously Sig's known for this chassis system, so you can take this all out and put it in whatever grip you'd like. It's got metal tabs as far as what the slide rides in, no plastic kind of holding those tabs or reinforcing them or anything like that. And other than that, looks pretty standard. All right, let's jump back into final thoughts. Hey everybody, final thoughts on this. The Sig P320X Compact. So I think this gun shoots incredibly well. The recoil feels very good despite it having this higher bore axis. Probably because of how good the grip feels. The grip feels perfect for me for like a carry gun. Because I can get more of my hand on it than a Glock, or at least it feels like I can. So that's good. Than a Glock 19, I can't really carry that. My hand kind of pours over it. But this feels really good. It's a smaller barrel, everything like that. The recoil and pulse felt great. I'm really a fan of the X grip. The other grip, yeah, not so much, the original one, but the X grips feel great. So now the million-dollar question. So I don't know if you noticed, but I have a different shirt on because I filmed this part about 3 weeks after the original video because my camera was overheating. So since then, there's been the video release of the police officer who had his Sig 320 discharged in his holster in the lobby. I'm sure most of you have seen it if you're interested in this gun at all. Let's talk about a few things. First off, I'm going to say no, I wouldn't carry this gun right now. Until Sig addresses what the actual issue is, I'm not comfortable doing that. And you can go out and say it's user error. Yes, I agree. There's probably a lot of dumb people in the world that do dumb things or buy holsters that they shouldn't be buying or something along those lines. And that probably attributes, a bunch of these. However, we're not seeing the same issue across Glocks. I mean, people would love to rag on Springfield, but they ain't going off either. Maybe there's something to that grip safety. Just saying. But we're not seeing that with any other guns. I know Ben Stoker's posted a lot of photos on his Instagram of SIGs that have blown up in class, issues with that, with just factory loads. So I know there's probably some people out there that are loading plus P pluses on their own, buying Amazon holsters, whatever it might be. But we don't see that with any other gun company right now. And I would expect that there's probably more Glocks in the world than SIGs. So you would think that you would see like a proportion to that. And we're not seeing that with Glocks. We're not seeing it with Springfields. We're not seeing it, with HKs or Walders or anything else out there. So there's got to be something to it. There's got to be some mechanical or engineering flaw that's occurring with these guns. That's the only way that you can explain it. You can't avoid the statistics. These are exponentially higher as far as issues like that, the catastrophic failures. You see exponentially more of them. So it's just something to think about. If SIG would come out and tell us just straight up, like, here's what's wrong. I know they might be doing a recall on some of them. I just saw some news about that. But if they said, here's what's wrong, we fixed it, it might put me back at ease. But with this ambiguity that's out there, I don't feel comfortable carrying the gun. Will I take it to the range and shoot it? Absolutely. It shoots amazing. One thing I would like to see, SIG, if you're listening, take this X grip and apply it to like a DASA gun. So like if we could get a 226 with the X grip, that would be really cool. Or something along those lines, like a polymer hammer gun with this X grip. I'd be all in for that. So hope you enjoyed the video. I appreciate all of you for watching, leaving comments, likes, subscribing, any of that sort of thing. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments, hit me up on Instagram, whatever it might be. But take care, everyone.